Hey YouTube, I got a new toy in today. I have my 1796 light Calvary. I just want to show you what you can expect when you get a Sword Second Class A. Alright, and so if you come up close, of course it came with a box, but this is the light Calvary Saber that came with the leather sheath. It comes with this plastic stuff on it, and I haven't removed the plastic yet, so we can see together
Can I mention
what's
something?
under. Yeah.
The blade itself and the hilt came with that plastic. And usually when my brother gets something in the mail, like a knife, he wants me to text him a picture of it. So I took the plastic off of the blade, wiped the grease off the blade. The blade was heavily greased. That's something to keep in mind.
Yeah, there was a lot of grease on it, and I can actually feel some of the residue of the grease on the metal parts. But from what I can see, I really don't see any flaws with the sheath. As you can see, you get your cold steel tag, made in India, and that's actually the old slogan. I have other reasons to believe that this is an older sword, but I imagine they print out, 100,000 of these tags, and they're probably not going to switch them right when they have the new logo. But I guess before we get to the blade, this is the reason why I think it's an older blade. This is actually the British Proof Test certification. And so I guess for each one of these Calvary Sabers, they go through the British Proof Test. I've never received another sword with this certificate, and I think it's kind of neat. Let's see, here it is. They give you a description of the British Proof Test, and sure enough, they have a sword that looks somewhat like the Calvary Saber. And they show you the bends that they put into it when they put it in a wood block. And then we have Shivai Josai. So if you're watching, if I screw up your name, you can comment and tell me how to make your name or say your name. But anyways, we have kind of a half stamp here, and you can say it's meant to be the 20th of December 2000, and it's kind of up to your interpretation, but the stamp said something and half of it's cut off, and so that's either 2018 with the upper portion of the 8 cut off, or I guess it could be a 6, or it's actually 2010.
Yep.
All right, and so we have 201, and then we have a big O, and I wouldn't imagine that the O would be that much more, that much bigger than the other numerals. And so I'm thinking that what this is, it's probably an overstock old sword, and because I personally couldn't find any flaws with it, everything seems to fit okay with my untrained eyes. My hand is starting to absorb a lot more of this this leather grip, which makes it a lot more grippy, and I don't really see anything wrong with that. And so the blade, and here's one thing that might be a flaw, it fits really tightly in the sheath. And so maybe it's because the blade is so dramatically curved, I don't know, but it's a pretty tight fit, and I think that will loosen up in time. The blade is really curved, as you can see, and I've already done some work on it, but something that I noticed when I got it out of the box is that the initial edge, it wasn't really all that sharp. I have made it sharper, but it actually came with a false edge, which we're going to test here in a second. But now this isn't a good representation of how the blade would come, because I've already sharpened it. In fact, with the belt sander, this is with the Ken Onion Work Sharp, I actually scratched the crap out of the blade. But one way to look at it is that it's kind of like if you scratch your truck. Once you scratch it once, it doesn't really matter if you scratch it again. And so it's a functional blade. It appears to be solid. One thing I noticed right out of when I got it out of the package is that it's so much more flexible than the Thompson Saber. You can get it and start to bend it like that, and the Thompson Saber, which I have right here, it's a beefier blade, and there's a little bit of flex to it, but it's not going to bend that much. It's just a way stouter knife. And this is a sword second as well. And this actually came with some corrosion up top. I forget if this was an A or B or C. For some reason I'm wanting to say it was a A or a B. But I got it for a good deal as well. This sheath is a lot looser, so I'm not sure if the sheath is supposed to fit. This is a lot better if you want a quick draw, but perhaps over time the sheath will break in a different way. So that's a little bit of what you can expect if you buy a cold steel sword second. And again, this is A quality. So there you go. Now we're going to cut to some cutting tests. All right, we're going to see how the back edge goes. Not that well.
Keep in mind, we're not HEMA people.
Yeah, I could probably do it like that, but I don't really want to. Let's just try the primary edge once again. Oh.
There we go.